Hello, I'm Jeff Ondash, and welcome to Out and About. And it's February, the month of love. It's the time of the year when Valentine's Day happens and we start to think about all the special people in our lives. We think about love and especially about the heart and the American Heart Association because it's National Heart Month. And I'm here with Brian Duchon, who's the executive director of the local American Heart Association. How you doing, Brian?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Let's talk a little bit about the American Heart Association. And February is National Heart Month, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Since the 1960s, U.S. presidents have declared February as National Heart Month.
So what happens here? Do you do extra special things throughout the month for different activities that are scheduled just for the month of February to celebrate that?
Yeah, a lot of what we're doing this month is around awareness building. Heart disease and stroke are the number one killers of Americans. So a lot of what we're doing is getting people more aware of the risk factors, helping people make healthier decisions, and getting them engaged and excited about the work of the Heart Association. So we have a lot of things going on this month. Wear Red Day is Friday, February 3rd. So we're out working with all of our corporate supporters to get them wearing red that day. So you'll see that quite a bit on Friday. Macy's is obviously a national sponsor of Go Red Day, so you can pick up a Go Red pin at Macy's anytime the month of February. And we also have our Heart Ball on February 24th at the Lake Club in Poland. So a great awareness building and fundraising event for the Heart Association.
And I'm going to look at the audience at this one. If you just went out and you asked some of the people, some of your friends or family, and you said, what's the number one killer in America? I guarantee you 9 out of 10 people are going to say cancer, and that's not the case. You just heard Brian say that heart disease is the number one killer, and especially among women. And it's something almost taken for granted a lot with women and heart disease.
Yeah, absolutely. What we find with our mothers, our wives, our daughters is that they're so selfless and so busy taking care of the family, taking care of others, and really put themselves on the back burner far too often. And symptoms of stroke and heart attacks can show up a little bit differently in females. And what we are doing is encouraging them to recognize those signs and to take action once they do realize that they may be experiencing an event. And so 80% of the individuals in the U.S. will experience some form of cardiovascular event in their lifetime. So it's a really big issue.
You just said 80%?
80%. 80% of those cardiac events are preventable. So we can do things in our everyday lives to keep those things from happening to us. So it's lifestyle issues. It's what we're eating. It's how active we are every single day. So that's the great thing about heart disease and stroke is that we can do things today to make sure that we don't experience those in the future.
But there's one also big factor too, and that's heredity. Because even if you do exercise and you do watch your weight and you do all the dietary things that are good for you, you still have that unknown factor inside of you of heredity that can affect you with heart disease.
Yeah, absolutely. Genetics definitely plays a part. It's interesting, actually, the zip code we're from can play a part of in our health. We actually see that folks who can live just a matter of blocks from another can experience a 30-year difference in life expectancy just based on the condition of their community. It's about education. It's about access to affordable health care. It's about equity for health care. And so it's really interesting to not only heredity, not only gender, but also geographically where we live can impact our ability to experience heart attacks and stroke.
And strokes, you just mentioned a big word. We always think of the American Heart Association as just that, dealing with the heart. But strokes are very prevalent in our society today and just as dangerous to someone as a heart attack. So tell us about what the Heart Association does also with strokes.
Yeah, the two are so closely connected and interdependent, obviously, the connection with heart disease and stroke. So basically what we do at the Heart Association is anything cardiovascular. So from the heart all the way through the cardiovascular disease, which is what you experience with a stroke, is a blockage of a main artery in the body, which is what ultimately is causing a stroke. So we're really kind of the whole cardiovascular system from head to toe.
Alrighty, so let's go back now and talk a little bit about some of the things going on. Go Red for Women is really the awareness that you bring across for the Heart Association, for the moms and the sisters and the daughters and all the women out there to raise the awareness in February to carry on throughout the year.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the big thing. Go Red for Women is all about empowering women to take a more active role in their own personal health. to take time to set aside to think about their own personal health and wellness, to know the symptoms, to know the signs, and more importantly, as I said before, to really have the tools and resources to be able to make an impact, to make sure we're making the decisions every day that we can to make the healthy choice the default choice for families and for women.
Alrighty, so if somebody wanted to be a part of the American Heart Association, maybe possibly volunteer their time, it's really a wonderful organization and they do great work. How can they be a part of that?
Yeah, absolutely. They can go to heart.org and find their local office. We're here in Youngstown. We have a lot of great opportunities for volunteers to get involved, whether it's Go Red for Women, whether it's with the Heart Walk, or whether it's with our Heart Ball in the fall. So lots of great ways to engage with volunteers and to get more involved with the Heart Association.
And it really all starts with trying to make a better choice in lifestyle and also getting to a doctor and making sure that you get a checkup because of the hereditary factor. You might be eating right, you might be exercising correctly, but that hereditary factor is something that you don't want to take for granted. So getting to a doctor is kind of important.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk a lot about blood pressure, we talk a lot about glucose, and it's kind of check, change, control, know your numbers, and make sure you're doing something to manage those numbers as well.
And you are an organization that deals off of fundraising. So it's important that our community gets behind the American Heart Association because you've done wonderful things over the past few decades in terms of bringing the death rate down in heart disease and stroke disease.
Yeah, it's amazing the advancements we've seen in science over these last several decades. I mean, what would have been a life-ending event 10, 15 years ago is now treatable. What they can do with stents and implants and pacemakers is just really incredible. And all that support and that research comes from the Heart Association. So it's not only the local education and awareness, but that national research that we're supporting at the Heart Association that's making those kind of advancements possible.
Alrighty, so it's February, it's the month of love, and it's time that you help yourself out. Get yourself checked out, make sure your heart is great. Call up the American Heart Association, be a volunteer, be involved in it, or possibly, if you can financially, make a donation to them to help so that maybe someday heart disease overall and stroke disease can be eradicated. Might be something that could happen, might not, but as long as you're here helping out, that's a great thing, and you do wonderful things in our community, and I thank you and the Heart Association for all the wonderful things that you do.
Thank you. We're working on it every day.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Out and About. So let's get healthy. Come on, let's start exercising. Let's start eating right. Let's take a little bit care of our bodies because people love you. It's all about love in February. And you need to be here not only for yourself, but for the people that do care about you. So get healthy, get heart healthy, and we will see you next month with more great things on here, Out and About. Take care.